Hi everyone, Aidan here with etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the RockyMounts Monorail 2-bike rack and seeing how it fits on the back of our 2023 Toyota RAV4. This is going to be a really great value bike rack. It's a platform style which makes it very easy to load and unload. It holds the bike by the wheel, which makes it good for carbon frame bikes and alternative frame bikes because we're not relying on frame contact to hold the bike. And it has a 60-pound weight capacity per bike, making this a good option for some e-bikes. Like many other platform racks in this class, you do have the ability to tilt it away with the bikes loaded, so we can do things like get to the back cargo area of our vehicle. There's a blue handle on the bottom of the bike rack that you can just pull to release the rack down. And obviously, if you have it fully loaded with two 60-pound bikes, it'll be a little bit heavier, but overall it's easy to do by yourself, and you can get some good handholds on it by holding onto the wheel hook. And this lets us open up the hatch of our RAV4. Even with a large mountain bike with wider handlebars, there's plenty of room for clearance, and we can get to the back, get things in and out that we might need to, maybe sit down and change our shoes before or after our ride. Whatever we have to do, we can do it, and we don't have to worry about unloading our bikes to do so. We can close that up, and whenever we raise this back up, that handle will click in place into the locked position, letting us know we're ready to drive. So just grab it by the arms here, lift straight up, and it's a pretty audible click letting us know we're good to go. I like that because you just know that it's good. Now at the back end, we can start getting the bike unloaded, starting with the back wheel strap. This is the secondary point of contact, just something to keep the back tire down. Press in on the blue button and pull the ratcheting strap out. And then with one hand on the bike, you can squeeze the blue handle on the wheel hook to release it, push it up and out. Now, depending on how much tension and pressure you put on that hook, that button might be a little harder to press, but overall it's not too bad. And the nice thing about this is even if you have a heavier e-bike, it should be fairly easy to load and unload just because there's nothing in your way obstructing you, like a center mast. That wheel hook swings out as far away as you need it to, and you've got open room to move around. This back cradle does pivot to accommodate for a variety of different wheelbases. The front cradle here folds up for nice easy storage, and the wheel hook I always like to just tuck behind the back cradle, keeping things nice and tucked in. From here we can grab our tape measure, and get some measurements. I'll just grab it from off camera over here. And we'll start off with our ground clearance. You can see, looking at the bike rack, that there is a good rise in the shank. That's going to help improve our ground clearance because the hitch on our RAV4 does sit a little low to the ground. Now at the back end, the lowest point here to the handle probably is going to be 17 inches or 18 inches to the back of the bike rack right here. That's not the best ground clearance of all the bike racks we've tested today, but anything over a foot I think is more than good enough, and you shouldn't have to worry about it going up steep driveways and hills. It does add some distance to the back of the RAV4 from the bumper out. It's going to be adding about 31 inches, which is right on par with everything we've tested today. Overall, it doesn't add too much length, but it's not super compact either, kind of in the middle. When bikes are unloaded, we can use the same handle as before to fold the rack up against the vehicle, and that's going to cut down on our space added to the back. Only sticking out 11.5 inches now, this becomes a lot more compact and easy to drive around with, giving you a lot less clearance issues for things like parking spots and maybe even your garage at home. One thing I will say is that, like many other bike racks on the RAV4, it does come pretty close to the bumper in the folded state. I'd say the closest point is probably right here, and you can see that as far as clearance goes, we're working with about an inch, maybe a little over. So that is maybe something that could sound concerning, but there's pretty much no movement at the pivot point here, so I'm not worried about vehicle contact. And in a way, something sitting this close can be really nice because it doesn't add much length in the folded state, and it stays out of the way. The other nice thing is that it doesn't obstruct anything. Our license plate and backup camera are fully visible, and our taillights are unobstructed as well. Obviously, when this is folded out, loaded up with bikes, that can change, but That's with bikes on there, and that's probably to be expected. In the folded state, when we're waiting between rides, it's not going to be in your way. Down at the bottom, we've got a point where we can lock our cable lock to. The cable lock is included, but not integrated into the rack itself, so you will have to remember to bring it. And then at the hitch, it's working with our 2" by 2" receiver tube and uses a locking anti-rattle bolt to keep things solid and secure. The lock on the end of that hitch pin is the same lock that the cable lock will use here, so it's keyed alike, and you don't have to worry about bringing an extra key for different locks. And when it comes down to it, I think the monorail is a really solid option. It packs a lot of value, it's easy to use, and works with a wide range of bikes. My one thing I'd say is if you don't need the 60-pound weight capacity, maybe look into something like the Kuat Sherpa. With that one, I think things are just going to operate a bit smoother. Things like the tilting and the arms have a little bit of a nicer construction, and it feels smoother and more fluid, and it's a little bit smaller and more lightweight. But if you need that compatibility with e-bikes, I think this is a great way to go. Thanks for watching.